We are at City of David, and I've been here many times. We do have some videos from here, but we are going to see for the first time. It's still not open to the public. Some evidence from the first temple. Before that, you can actually see here a beautiful wall, which is not even from the time of King David. It's from the time of the Jebusite. The Canaanites have been here, let's say, 3,800 years ago. But I'm going to the East excavation, and they published, published for the first time a wall from the first temple time. And it was here until the Babylonian actually destroyed the city, but that wall wasn't destroyed. Then we found it just like it was, almost like that. The tour is in Hebrew, but I'll try to be quiet when he talks, and then to summarize the things, because it's a must. Some of it's for the first time even for me. We are at the Kidron Valley, right in front of us. Just behind that building is the only spring of Jerusalem until today, the Gihon Spring, and Canyon Canyon at 1960, the 60s, at the time of the Jordanian actually excavate here, and she excavate just like a piece of cake. What you find here is that first wall from the Canaanite time, Jebusite time, 18th century BC. Above it, that wall is from Hezekiah time, let's say 8th century BC. In between, she found a cave with so many evidence that used to be a Canaanite temple. Here it is. That's the first wall, and you can see that it looks like with a mass, because at that time, the Bronze time, they couldn't do something better than that. At the Iron time, it looks much better. And now we're entering to a cave which is usually closed to the public. Let's do that. I've been there only once, and I'm getting more than 20 years now. Then we're entering a cave, and I will show later on what's happening here. You can see here that a part of the wall from Hezekiah time. It was found, let's say, earlier than a few years ago, but you can actually see that you can see the wall from Hezekiah time, and you can see that the wall is not straight, and there is a kind of balding part of it. The balding part of it is against earthquake. If it will be straight, it might fall down. But if there are some bald things, it can be actually hold it. Another important thing is that if it's balding, it means that it might be a small tower, and you can see some blind places. I mean, if the enemy is hiding, it will be easier for them to find it. As you can see, they're still excavating here, but here we found some beautiful places. The wall of Hezekiah is still there, and there are a few rooms here that we know that they cover it or destroy it. That might be a place where they used to sew things, but we don't know what it is. If you do have speculation, please write it down. The tour guide said that it looks like alien, but we don't know. And then in that complex, you can see the Holy of the Holy of that temple. And you can see the stone, which used to tell you that on top of it, or maybe the stone itself was the image of God, or maybe on top of it was something else. You can see that they cut it from the wall. We are talking about the Israel. It's not the genocide, it's not the genocide, it's not the killing. Here they used to sacrifice animals. You can see that the tunnel and olive press right here. Someone covered it. Let's say at Josiah or at Hezekiah time, because from that time they actually decided to worship only one God. We're going back to the... יש עוד מישהו? לא. Going that way.
יגיעו מלמטה עד הכותל.
רגע, חכה רק שנייה, שנראה שזה לא נכון. אני רוצה להסכים.
אני אומר אמת,
לא, אני רוצה להסכים.
זו תקליט חדשה. אם שילמתם עכשיו בכסף,
We are on top of the rooms that we saw, and the rooms are there. And here we find the wall of Hezekiah. Then in that case, the wall that you saw before aren't the same wall. Because we find that wall, we know now that the rooms that we visit lately was inside the walls. Then you can see the wall that we just discovered from the first temple house. You can see that it's wide, it's like 5 meters wide and 3-4 meters high. And it's such an amazing thing to see. Unbelievable. And in that place, right there, there's evidence of a house that's been destroyed by the Babylonian. You can actually see the vases that been break, the fire. Sadly, it's still not open to the public and even not to us. Let's go in. In that place, we found a few places, few houses. Here, we found a lot of damage of vases. It looks like an earthquake at the 1860 or something like that, the days of Uzziah, the king. And we found here a small pig. Aha, pig in Jews. I'm not sure that it goes like that. Then in that area, I can see more of those houses. Here, for example, we find layers of tiles. It shows you that that place was used for so many times, and so many rooms are here. This is the house of Shalem. When we found out that there are something special here, a family of Shalem, we told them to go away, the Israeli family, and we started to excavate here. Then you can see the rooms.
אבל יש לכם זמן לעוד סיור, אתם בסדר.
אז עיר דוד בנה את הבית, הבניין הזה?
יפה, לאיזה מטרה? אני אגיד שבאמת...
Here, for example, we know that it's been destroyed by the by the Babylonians, 586 AD. Here, that room is all about earthquake that used to be at 1860 BC. Look how beautiful it is. You can see Mount of Olives in front of you. אפשר טיפה להתקדם.
אלה
זה הראש, מצד ימין.
זה הראש, כן, זה החזיר וזה הנזל זהב. זה אבני חן שנמצאו מהתקופה ההיא, מתקופת הברונזה והברזל, רוצים בעיקר תכשיטים טבעיים, כלומר אבני חן, אבני ירוד, עשו מהן חרוזים.
The pig that was found here, it looks like no one ate it. Next to the room, we found some evidence of kosher animals. Then, now we have to translate it. Did the Jews eat pigs, pork, although it's not allowed? Josiah actually mentioned that some did. But here we found a pig and that no one touched. Then do whatever you want with it. Let me tell you where we were. We were at that building that now they are excavating. We saw the pig room, the room of the pig, and here is the Hezekiah wall that we found lately. But Catalan Canyon in the 1960s, when that part was Jordan, under the occupation of Jordan, excavated here. She liked to cut a piece of cake and to see the layers. And what she found here, see that wall? That wall is from 3,800 years ago, from the Jebusite, Canaanite time, let's say 18th century BC. Above it, you can see the wall of Hezekiah. You can see the differences. The wall of the Jebusite, the Canaanite, is from the Bronze time. Then there's no iron. It's difficult to use a quarry with alone like with small stones. Then you can see that it looks like a big stones without any order. At the Iron time, First Temple time, you can see that it's small stones organized better than Hezekiah. Let's say 8th century BC and 18th century BC is lower than that. Here, behind or beneath that building, you could find the only spring of Jerusalem, and that's why the walls were very close to here. There's another group here. I don't want to disturb them. Beautiful, isn't it? Now what left for us to do is to climb all the way up. It's not so easy, but before we will do that, look at the view. The Silwan village, it's a new village from, let's say, the beginning of the 20th century. It was built on top of ancient tombs from the time of King David and even before that. We can continue to the left. We will continue to the left, and you can see the Jewish cemetery from the time of King David and up. Then that used to be just like that, but here we build more and more and more. On top of the hill, it's difficult to show you, but yes, you can see a small pyramid tower, top of the tower, and that is the Ascension Church. And oh, look at Mary Magdalene Church now shining, and beneath it you can see a little bit, I cannot, but beneath it, below it, it's the Garden of Gethsemane. A little bit of the wall, you can see a little bit of the southern wall from the 16th century, but based on top of King Herod wall, because this is the southern wall of the temple. Beautiful, isn't it? And some of those excavations were totally new for me because it's not open to the public. And for example, that part, because they actually excavated it a few years ago. If you like that video, and I know that it was a little bit complicated, then please subscribe my channel. And I'm gonna take you to another tour later on, but that's gonna be in a different video because it's like a totally different story. See you. Bye bye.